How do you use Wikipedia when you're not allowed to use Wikipedia as a source? I'm going to show you a trick that you're not allowed to tell any other instructor that you know. So, you didn't hear this from me. So, if I do a Google search for whatever I'm looking for, let's say it's Watergate. Say I'm analyzing Sweet Home Alabama song lyrics, and I want to know more about Watergate because it's an allusion in the song. The first thing that pops up when I do a Google search is Wikipedia. And I know you're often eager to choose whatever's first when it pops up. That's not always the best idea. Oftentimes you can find more fruitful sources if you continue to scroll down. But let's say you don't do that. You just really want to use Wikipedia. So if I click on Wikipedia, this is what pulls up. This is what you will see for any general Wikipedia page. So let me tell you some good things about Wikipedia. Well, first, let me explain why you're not allowed to use Wikipedia officially for most academic research. Wikipedia is crowdsourced, which means anybody out there can contribute to the information posted on Wikipedia. And it can change because anybody can post. Now, I think Wikipedia does a pretty good job of making sure that they have sources that can be cited, other sources, and I'm going to show you that those sources are the ones that you really can use in your research. So every time you see a little blue number, that is to one of the sources that you can find at the end of the whole article. So look, just look how many. We're up to the 90s here. So you can scroll down and the corresponding number, oh, we're not there yet. Under references, the corresponding number goes with that. So if I were reading the article up here and I happen to see that there's some good information that I would like to use, let's pretend that this one got my attention. Well, I can either scroll back down to the sources and look for 84, but they put these handy links that if you go ahead and you click on that, you can find that source. So it takes you right there. This one's a PDF, so citing it may be a little trickier, but this is the official transcript apparently from one of the interviews with the president. So interesting stuff. Let's say I wanted to look at the smoking gun tape that's referenced earlier in the article. Here at the very top of the page, early in the article, that smoking gun tape reference is this number 10. So again, I could scroll down or I can just click here. And then when you get to the article itself, you can click on that actual article. Let's see what happens. So when I clicked on that article name, it took me to another website, Watergate Info. So if you're not allowed to use Wikipedia, you could use this source. And you can use the same information to enter into your works cited, starting with the author's last name, comma, first name, if you know the author. But when you don't have an author, you start with the article title. The article title here I would call The Smoking Gun Tape. Okay, I would call the website title Watergate Info. But again, I have another video. I will put the link to it at the end of this video and in the comments, so you can see how to use EasyBib if you want to cite a source here that just uses the URL to discover what you need to have in the works cited. So I'm going to show you again what happens when I enter any Google search. look, again, Wikipedia. So again, you could scroll down and find sources that end in .gov and .org and .edu are considered sources that you can use in academic writing for English 101. But that does not include Wikipedia, which is .org. So ask your teacher specifically. Generally, the Wikipedia as a source is not going to be allowed, but again, let's look. You can absolutely use the sources that you find within those articles. Okay, so maybe I want to look more at the I Have a Dream speech. A lot of times you just have the definitions listed for you on Wikipedia. This took me to another Wikipedia page when I clicked it. So there might be some actual things that I can write about the speech if that's what I'm particularly interested in. So just be careful that you go to an actual source that's listed on the source or references at the bottom, which you can find when you have the little number. So I'm going to go back and look at Martin Luther King's web page or Wikipedia page, and so I might use any number of the references that are here. For example, I don't want to use anything from his childhood maybe, or maybe I do. It depends on what I'm looking at. I might look at the Montgomery bus boycott, so I might find some extra information that would be useful here. So let me click on this number 101. It takes me again to the sources. Here's number 101. Again, if I want to click here, it takes me to a source that I can absolutely use. Now, don't just copy and paste these sources here from the Wikipedia page, because those are not in MLA format. So you do absolutely, for English class, have to use MLA format. So again, I would be super inclined to open an EasyBib thing. I will just do that for you quickly now. So this is just me demonstrating EasyBib now at the end of this video because I have a little extra time. So if using Wikipedia is something that's all you needed to know, then this just shows you how to take those sources like this one, copy the URL into the website place for EasyBib. Again, make sure you're not using APA, but you're using MLA, and that is something that you select early on when you are going to create something using EasyBib. It gave me several things. I'm not sure exactly which one I want to use. So you'll have to look through and see what works for you. That one didn't work so well. That's okay. What I can do is create a manual citation, and I can go back to this article. I can call it the Montgomery Bus Boycott as the title of the article. Looks like Frank Walsh was the author. So I can make this work. I just enter in those things here. So I will do that. So I have entered in by typing on my own the title of the article. I'm not sure if I have to put the quotation marks around the article title myself or not. I will click through, and if I need to add quotation marks for an article title, I will. But all article titles do go in quotation marks. I have entered the first and last name of the author, and now I need the website title. So Internet Archive will work for those purposes as far as I'm concerned, so that's what I'm going to call it. And then the publisher sponsor usually is going to be at the bottom of the page. Oh goodness, it's giving me all these things. I might actually use some of that stuff if I were to redo this works cited, but again, your instructor is going to want to be able to see what you actually used, your main things. So publisher sponsor is not something that I am easily finding. So If you don't have something that you can enter for a piece of information, you can skip that part. That's standard. I know it sounds weird. You feel like you shouldn't be able to skip something, but it's just how it works. If you don't have a page number, you cannot enter page numbers, right? So I just pressed enter before I really intended to, and this is what came up for my source. Now, because I was not quite done with it, I should have looked for a year of publication. That 2003 would have been handy to put in there. So I might go back and review. I might do some missing information, so I can add that. I could say electronically published. Oftentimes with online sources, it is just the year. The date accessed. Sometimes teachers require the date accessed and sometimes not. MLA 9, the current edition of MLA format, does not require you to put a date accessed, but you should do what your instructor wants. So now I'll just update that citation, and then here it is. It's got my date in there and everything. So I would just copy that and I would put it in my Works Cited page, making sure that my author's name is last name, comma, first name, period. Article title is in quotation marks. See, it did it for me. That's great. The container or website title should be in italics. Then I have the year of publication and I have the URL, sometimes called the location on Works Cited templates. If you have a print source, the location is all the pages of that content. So it's not the one page where you found the quotation, but it's all the pages of the whole chapter or book. Well, actually, if you do a whole book, you don't put the pages. You just have a little more simplified way. You have the author's last name, comma, first name, the title of the book, the publisher, and the date. Books are nice and easy. I do encourage you to use books. Physical books from your actual campus library are the best. If you want to really impress an instructor, use some actual books. Let me know if you have questions.